You bought the premium fertilizer. You measured the water perfectly. You placed the pot right in the sun. And yet, your plant is fading, dropping yellow leaves and refusing to grow. It is easy to blame your own gardening skills. Failure usually stems from a common misunderstanding of the dirt itself. Beginners often treat soil as a sterile container, a plastic cup meant to hold roots in place while we pour in liquid chemicals. Healthy plants require a different perspective. Soil is a complex, living ecosystem. It is filled with billions of microscopic organisms, creatures like bacteria, fungi, and worms, that operate exactly like a bustling restaurant kitchen. This diagram illustrates the system. On the left, we have raw synthetic fertilizer, labeled as NPK. NPK stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the three primary elements plants need to survive. These are raw groceries delivered to the back door. The plant cannot easily digest them in this form. On the right, microorganisms act as the kitchen chefs. They break those raw ingredients down and feed them directly into the root system. Pouring fertilizer into sterile dirt is equivalent to dumping raw flour and sugar onto a kitchen counter. Without the microbes actively processing the materials, the nutrients sit there entirely unused. Success depends on a well-fed underground staff. When the microbes thrive, they take over the task of preparing and delivering every meal the plant needs. To keep that underground staff working, you have to provide them with a functional workspace. This starts with organic matter, like compost or decomposed leaves. Without organic matter, dirt compacts into a dense, lifeless brick. Water simply pools on the surface and runs off the sides, leaving the interior dry and uninhabitable for microbes. Adding even a small amount of compost changes the physical structure of that dirt, turning the dense brick into a highly absorbent sponge. This catches moisture and gives the microorganisms a damp environment to survive and multiply. Once the soil can hold water, it needs to breathe. Plant roots and soil microbes are living things that require a steady supply of oxygen. This diagram shows dense soil. Earth particles are tightly packed, blocking airflow, so roots suffocate. You can fix this by loosening the top layer. Breaking up clumps creates space for air to circulate and roots to expand. Combining compost with regular aeration provides the workforce with the water and oxygen necessary to sustain the plant. Sometimes soil contains plenty of water, air, and raw nutrients, yet despite everything, the plant still completely starves. The ingredients are present, but they are chemically inaccessible. Nutrient availability is controlled by the soil's pH, a measurement of acidity. If the pH tilts too far in either direction, nutrients chemically bind to the soil particles, staying stuck to the dirt instead of moving to the roots. Many gardeners try to fix a starving plant by aggressively adding more synthetic fertilizer. Flooding the dirt with these chemicals often tips the pH scale further out of balance, burning root tips and killing off microbes. Organic matter provides a natural solution to this chemical imbalance. It acts as a buffer, absorbing fluctuations and keeping the pH within a stable range. Regular additions of compost create a self-regulating environment. This prevents nutrients from sticking and ensures they remain absorbable. The most effective long-term strategy is to focus exclusively on the health of the soil, rather than trying to force-feed the plant. A living soil system works in sync with the plant, preparing and releasing nutrients slowly. This ensures the plant receives exactly what it requires, exactly when it needs it. Rebuilding this biological system is a relatively fast process. You don't have to wait years for results. Within a few weeks of adding compost and loosening the dirt, the soil structure improves. Moisture retention increases, root systems expand, and the plant responds with visible, vibrant growth. Once established, this biological cycle sustains itself. The microorganisms handle the labor, reducing the need for constant chemical intervention. Handing the work over to the soil's hidden workforce creates a self-sustaining system. When you focus on the foundation, the nature of gardening changes from constant crisis management to a stable, predictable cycle.